if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you about it. It's free, which is amazing. And there are these really cool creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy to be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get podcasts. And you get to make money with no minimum listenership, which is really cool. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right away. Yoga teachers, mindfulness leaders, and energy workers, are you ready to stop side hustling and start making an income doing what you love? Welcome to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we'll dive into conversations with successful creatives in wellness, business, marketing, and more to uncover practical methods to take you from A to B and have some fun along the way. My name is Jessica Cross, and I'm so excited to be here with you. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back. It's Jess, and this is Marketing Off the Mat. And today we are talking about mindset shifts and moving from this yoga teacher employee style mindset toward more of a CEO and creator mindset in our business. So if you're a yoga teacher, new, seasoned, whatever point you are in your teaching journey, you may or may not realize you're a business owner. You're also a business owner. And if you already had that, you're like, duh, Jess, great. If not, if that was a surprise to you, it's totally cool too, because I did not realize in the very beginning of my yoga teacher journey, I just wanted to learn about more yoga. I wanted to deepen my practice. And if it made sense for me to teach, then I would. And then I found myself, teaching a bunch of classes after my 200-hour. And I didn't at the time understand that I was actually a business owner, that I was actually the CEO of my business because I was spending so much time working in the business as the employee. And that's great because, showing up to teach, making connections with studios and places that you want to teach are all a part of it. It's all about action. So that's awesome. And we also have to be able to flex into this CEO / creator person, leader in our business. So talk a little bit about that today and why it's so important. And I'll share some of my personal stories as well. So in order to shift into this idea of the leader, the person who's at the helm for their business, we've got to take a higher view and we've got to upgrade our mind shift around this. We've got to upgrade our mindset around this. It's all about taking a different view, which is a lot of what we talk about in the practice of yoga and meditation is taking a higher view. So it's really important when we're building a business that we think of it as not only seeking outside of ourselves, but seeking within ourselves and understanding our true potential to build an amazing business, to build something that you're really proud of, that pays your bills, that lifts you up, that impacts your community. We often seek outside ourselves for opportunities and validation when we can create those for us, for ourselves, on our own time. And it makes all the difference when you start thinking of your business in this way. It's a lot different than we may have pictured our business when we were just graduating from our teacher training, when we wanted to teach at the studio that we did our training, or when we wanted to fill our class with public classes, because we kind of thought, or at least I did, that was the end all be all. That's the goal, is to teach at the studio. And in many ways it is like, it's I still teach in a studio and I love it. I love that community aspect. I love coming in and setting the space and the playlist and the lighting and making sure everybody feels seen and welcomed, and putting together that sequence. And I play sound as well. I really love that whole process of showing up for a public class at the studio I teach at. I did not realize when I was starting to teach, because this is, at least in my training, not something they tell you. That's not the way that you're going to sustainably build your business. That will be for some, but for many, there is another way. And when we spend a lot of time in this, we'll call it the yoga teacher or the employee mindset, that we kind of don't see past our day-to-day. We don't see anything beyond our weekly schedule. And it makes sense, because we're heads down. We've got to make sure everything else is taken care of so we can get to our studio on time to teach, or the corporate office that you teach at. So you've got to have your playlist, you've got to have everything ready to go, you've got to back out the time for traffic, all of that. We spend a lot of time and energy meeting that schedule. And it's okay to flex into that, because obviously we need action, but without long-term direction, it's not going to take us that far. We need both. We need to be able to be the employee, to get the stuff done, and then also to have this CEO mindset, the visionary mindset for our business. So how do we move from this teacher to CEO mindset? Well, first, I will just say it takes time. For my personal journey, I've been out of teacher training for my 200 hour for 5 years. And, over the past, I don't know, 2 to 3 maybe is where I was starting to connect the dots that, hey, maybe the hustle to and from my drop-in classes is not the way, or at least for me. I started to question things, and that's when my sound therapy business, Sound for Stress, was born. And I started to take some ownership over creating my own world, creating my own offerings. So if you're just graduating from a 200 hour, maybe you just completed a meditation teacher training program, you're into Reiki and energy healing and all of that wonderful stuff, and you're just emerging to it, or you've had your head down in your business, showing up for the public class or the one-to-one offering that's on a punch card, or however you set things up. If you had your head down as well, or you're just starting, it's going to take some time to shift into this mindset. It's going to take some time for you to start connecting with a bigger vision of yourself. So let's start doing that. Let's start thinking about this connection for a bigger vision for our business. I'll ask, do you have a plan for the next month, or 90 days, even for the next 6 months too? Do you have a plan for your business? And as a yoga teacher, you might be thinking, well, no, like I'm teaching these classes, and I will teach these classes until the schedule changes in the fall, or whatever schedule or cadence you're on. But I would ask, start doing a bit of work in your journal about where you want to go. Where do you want to take this thing? Start connecting the dots, making lists, free writing. You could just brain dump how you see this forming and shifting and molding into something that's beautiful and would make you feel fulfilled and would help reach your community in a meaningful way. So start spending some time connecting with this vision, this role. Like, you could also do a bit of journaling about who you are as the CEO. How do you look? How do you feel? What's your energy like? What's a day-to-day like for you once you've shifted into the CEO? And you don't have to get granular about exactly the tasks that you're doing, but just how does it feel? So start thinking about the joyous feeling of creating something that is fulfilling, that is paying your bills. Maybe you're supporting others with job opportunities. Start thinking bigger, thinking about creating, and not so much in the day-to-day when you're doing these journaling exercises. So we want to think about, as we're moving from this teacher mindset to CEO, is to not falling into the trap of being busy instead of building. So we spend a lot of time in the back and forth, being busy, subbing classes, sending out that social media post, writing that email, responding to the student question, making the playlist. We want to spend a lot of time as we're changing our mindset or tapping into this CEO version of ourselves, really thinking bigger. And every decision that you make in your business, be it it's taking on a class at a new studio or adding to your existing schedule, maybe it's even a opportunity to partner with another teacher or somebody in your area or in your field, wherever they are. Look back, get really clear, and make sure that it points back to your vision. You will find this more and more with every decision that you make. Every time a collaboration comes my way, I've gotten a bit clearer with every single one that I've done, what works for me and what doesn't. And I know that you will too. So continue to take in that information as you're making decisions. How does it feel? How do you see the result? Is this the right choice for you as the CEO, or does this seem to be more in line with that employee? So use some of those prompts as journal prompts as you're trying to and efforting toward the CEO mindset. Okay. So when we start thinking about bringing bigger transformations in our business, we also have to think about not only shifting into the CEO mindset, but this balance between the employee and the CEO. So it's really not one or the other. It's both, because many of us, at least for me right now in this season of my business, I'm a one-woman show. I've got a few trusted partners that I work with on the podcast and also, from a design standpoint, but pretty much what you see is what you get. So I do spend time as the employee in my business. I'm the one taking action and making things happen, but I have to be able to flex back into the CEO role and see who's driving the boat. It's me. Where is this boat headed? Because any little shift is going to end us up in another direction. So those shifts can be the decisions or collaborations we were talking about. We have to have both in balance, or effort towards them anyway. I hope that was helpful for you. It's something that I've been working on over the years, and I continue to flex into things like, am I being busy? Is that a busy task, or I'm building the business, and flexing into that employee time when I need to take action as well. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you take a listen to this episode. You can send me a DM on Instagram. It's @jessicacross.co. I'd love to know if this is something that you work with too. And if you have any tips or tricks in how you flex into this creator or this CEO mindset, and I'd love to know how it's working for you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for listening to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. I love hanging with you as we figure this thing out together. Do you have an idea or something to share with me? Send me a DM on Instagram at @jessicacross.co and let me know what's on your mind. I'd be so grateful if you shared this with someone who could use this episode. And if you get a chance, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch you on the next episode. See ya.